This time, we've come to Lisbon, the cradle of the Age of Discovery. We'll visit the magnificent Jerónimos Monastery and the Church of Santa Maria, where sailors once prayed before setting out to sea. We'll admire the great monuments to the discoveries and even spot a Portuguese trader among the heroes. Then we'll take in the view of the 500-year-old Belém Tower and finish the day with the original custard tarts and a hearty seafood rice. Welcome back! This time we are in Lisbon, exploring some of its most iconic landmarks. We are taking a bus from Rocio to the Belém district to visit the Jerónimos Monastery. As we enter the monastery grounds, our eyes are drawn to the magnificent south portal, not the main entrance, yet the most captivating of all. Facing the Tagus River, it once served as the gate for sailors after offering their prayers before departure. Soaring 32 meters high and adorned with intricate carvings, it stands as a timeless masterpiece of Minoan architecture. Above stands the Virgin and Child, facing the sea to bless departing ships. Below them is Prince Henry the Navigator, whose vision launched Portuguese voyages along African coasts and began the Age of Discovery. Upon entering the monastery, a staircase leads up to the upper cloister. The cloister forms a square around the central courtyard with two levels. Its ribbed water ceilings and bold ornate lights create a sense of depth and grandeur. Look closely and you will spot countless maritime motifs, ropes, anchors, shells, seaweed, and even the silhouettes of sea creatures. From the upper level, a stone staircase leads down to the lower cloister, where the carvings are even more elaborate and refined. Columns are wrapped in leaves and vines, and even the drainage spouts are shaped into strange, fantastical figures. The lower level also houses the monastery's refectory. Here, the azulejo tiles are the main highlight. Along the side walls, they depict the Old Testament story of Joseph, sold into slavery in Egypt by his brothers, yet raising to become Pharaoh's ministers and saving his people from famine. On the north wall, the tiles portray the New Testament miracle of the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Leaving the refectory, we approach the west portal of the Church of Santa Maria. Its design stands in sharp contrast to the south portal, an example of early Renaissance style, while the south is distinctly late Gothic. On the left kneels King Manuel I, with Saint Jerome, the monastery's patron, behind him. On the right kneels Queen Maria of Aragon, accompanied by her patron, Saint John the Baptist. The arched tympanum above the doorway features 3 reliefs: the Annunciation, the Nativity, and the Epiphany. Inside the church lie the tombs of several prominent figures in Portuguese history, the most famous being the navigator Vasco da Gama. This monastery was built to commemorate his successful voyage from Europe to India. The church features a rare hall-like design, where the nave and aisles raise to the same heights. Its vast roof is supported by 6 soaring stone pillars, creating an interior that feels open, spacious, and majestic. The ceiling is a complex and elegant web of ribbed vaults. Above the main altar, the vault spans the space without any central supports, a remarkable feature of engineering that miraculously survived the 1755 Lisbon earthquake. Ahead stands the tomb of Portugal's greatest poet, Luís de Camões. He is celebrated as one of the 6 great epic poets in human history. His masterpiece, Os Lusíadas, tells in sweeping words the voyage of Vasco da Gama, who led his fleet around the Cape of Good Hope and reached India. After visiting the Jerónimos Monastery, we walk towards the riverside, where the monument to the discoveries rises like a caravel ready to sail. At its bow stands Prince Henry the Navigator, and among the figures is Ferdinand Magellan, once branded a traitor, now immortalized among Portugal's heroes, a quiet reminder of history's irony. In front of the monument lies a vast square paved with a giant compass rose and world map, marking the routes and dates of Portugal's great voyages of discovery. This impressive mosaic was a gift from the Republic of South Africa in 1960, a symbol of the alliance between the two countries during the Cold War, when both opposed the independence movement rising across southern Africa. Not far from here stands the Belém Tower, built between 1514 and 1520. It was originally a military fortress guarding the mouth of the Tagus River, while also serving as a symbolic gateway, bidding farewell and welcoming returning fleets. Over time, the tower took on many roles: a custom post, telegraph station, lighthouse, and even, at one point, a temporary prison for political detainees. Next, we take the tram to the Pastéis de Belém, which still follows the original recipe from the Jerónimos Monastery. In the old days, monks and nuns used egg whites to starch their clothing, leaving behind large amounts of egg yolk. To make use of the leftovers, they mixed the yolk with the sugar and flour, creating this famous pastry. The monks later entrusted a nearby sugar refinery to sell the tarts. When the monastery closed, the refinery owner bought the secret recipe and founded the bakery in 1837, which has remained in the same family ever since. On our way back to the hotel, we came across a canned seafood boutique that looked more like a candy store, the fantastic world of Sardines. Portugal's canned fish industry thrived during World War I and II, when tin food became essential for the troops, easy to store and transport. Among them, sardines became the true classic. Inside, the shop turns canned foods into premium items, beautifully packaged, brightly colored, and priced accordingly. Over €10 for a single tin. It looked great, but we didn't buy any. The next day, at the supermarket, we found ordinary sardines for just €2 or €3 a can. We ended the day at a popular restaurant nearby with a plate of seafood rice, fresh seafood, a light broth, simple but full of flavor. That's all for this episode. Bye bye!